Hello and welcome to episode 50 of Focus on Gaming. I am Duncan and I'm joined by
Tom. How you doing, guy?
I'm all good. 50 episodes. Yay!
We got there.
We're now older than me. Not by
We
much,
are.
but
Although officially, I've only been on 20 of them, maybe, and you've missed one.
I've missed one. So technically, this is my 49th. So nobody has done 50 episodes.
No.
I've missed one though. So next episode, next week's episode will be my 50th. Oh, excuse me. But yeah. So we got to 50. Hey.
We did.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Congratulations.
When we started up this podcast, I did look up at various things on Reddit and whatnot, and a lot of places said most podcasts get to about 20 episodes and then falter out. So, yeah, hey, you came along and helped us keep going, and we're still going.
I do.
We're still dragging subjects out to talk about for an hour.
Yeah, but we're certainly dragging them out today. That's for sure.
It is a bit quiet, isn't it, in the gaming front? There's lots of little things, but there's no showcases anymore. There's no big releases coming out anytime.
Well, I think we're all waiting for the PlayStation 5 Pro, the Switch 2, and all things like that. So we've got a while to go yet.
Well, I'm looking forward to Star Wars Outlaws. I've seen previews of that, and that looks good. I do like an Ubisoft collectathon. I am one of the people who likes those. But do I want to play it full price? That's going to be the issue. But
absolutely not.
But I'm sure that we will be chatting about that in August. I think it comes out the end of August.
Well, funny you say that. We have got a number of places sending us review copies of games. So hopefully one of those may well be that game. So if it is, maybe we can post some reviews up.
Definitely Xbox version. We need. Well, at least we could get a copy for each platform.
That would be helpful. Good. Yeah, that's it.
Well, so we're not playing Star Wars Outlaws at the moment. So what have you been playing the last couple of weeks? Because you haven't been on for a couple of episodes, have you? So...
No, I've been really lame, and we've had lots of sickness in the house and screaming babies and things like that. So, but I have been playing an old game, two old games actually. Terminator 2 on the Gameboy.
Nice.
The non-arcade version. And I've also been playing Super Mario Land, which I've been playing on RetroArch on the iPad with a Bluetooth controller, mainly because I just don't want to go and get the Game Boy out and sit there squinting. And I'm on the last bit. So for those of you that have never completed the game, have you completed the game, Duncan?
Super Mario Land, yes. Yeah. I completed that. Let's just say on a Game Boy recently, a few months ago. I want to say 6 months ago.
So it's definitely easier to complete on the Game Boy than it is when you're playing it on an iPad. But
I can imagine so. I was not playing with touch controls. No, I was playing with a controller and
I am as well. Buttons. Yeah. But
it was a lot easier than I remember in the 80s or 90s when I played it. When I played it when I was a young lad. It took me weeks to do it, to complete it.
Back then, me too. Yeah, but an hour this time.
Yeah, yes. So, initially, it was like, huh? How did I find that difficult? It is very easy.
So I've actually saved it on the aeroplane level, which is the last level, because I didn't have time to finish the game. So I thought, okay, it's on RetroArch. I can save state the game. So I've left it on that last level, literally on the very last bit before you get the last two bosses. So I have to go in maybe later and just complete the game, which I think will take me all of about 4 minutes.
Airplane level?
Yeah.
Is this Super Mario Land 1 or 2?
1. Super Mario Land 1, yeah. So you have like the submarine level, then you have, then there's another few jumpy levels, and then the very last level is an aeroplane. And
I
then
love the descriptions, the jumpy levels.
the jumpy jumpies, and then the aeroplane level is you go into this thing and you get loads of coins, then you get a couple of power ups, you shoot past something rather. I can't remember
Oh,
what
an
it was.
airplane! Literally, yes, you fly an
Yeah,
airplane, don't you? And it's a shoot 'em up,
that's it.
basically, isn't it?
And then you just kill
Yes.
one boss, which is really easy to kill. Then another one appears that shoots loads of balls at you or something or other, and that's
Yes.
quite difficult. That boss. But there is a part on the screen where if you position yourself at this certain angle, nothing hits you, and you can just kill it. So it's fine.
Cheese it.
Yeah. So I reckon I've got about 4 minutes left in gameplay, and that game will be completed. So yeah, pretty
Now,
good.
I must say, I talk about it being easier. I did use save states, obviously,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it easy because I probably died more times than I would have been allowed.
Yeah. So there
So
is
I probably would have had to restart if I was actually playing on a Game Boy.
So there is a particular challenge, and I was reading recently an article that was saying it's possibly the worst Mario game ever. So those that don't know, that game was not designed by Nintendo per se; it was a separate team.
Ooh.
And for me, it's one of the best Mario games and one of the best artworks for a Mario game.
I mean, I bias because it's probably the only. It was the first Mario I ever played because I'd seen Super Mario Brothers on the NES and everything, but it was and it's probably the only one I've directly owned. I think
Yeah.
because I only ever owned a Game Boy as in Nintendo console. I've never owned a Nintendo console since.
It's a lovely little setup of the box and things like that. I think it's an absolutely wonderful game to own.
Yeah, but it plays really well. It's got the music.
Music's
I mean,
wonderful.
the second one, I just they tried too hard with the graphics on the second one, and
Yeah.
it glitches and it doesn't play that nicely.
It's not very fast either.
It's not very. It's just not very good.
Yeah, but there is something. I think it was in CVG magazine or one of those magazines back in the day. And Duncan, this is probably a challenge for you to go and try. I have done it once, so this is a challenge for you and our listeners. So you have to complete the game by getting every single available point, power up, level up, i.e. lives, and you have to finish the game on maximum points and maximum lives, which is 99.
Okay.
And when you get the bonus levels, okay, the quickest way to 99 is to get 3 every time, but it's by chance. So, but you have to finish the game with 99 lives, 99 points with the ball shooting power up, because that's the highest one you can get.
I mean, I remember when I was younger, the challenge was to get as many coins as you could because you got the extra lives.
Yeah.
So that's also what made it easier with the save states was because you were just like, I don't need to get more lives.
Yeah.
So you just casually, I've missed a coin in the plane level.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I just missed a row of 3. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. You can't use save states on this either. So you got to do it on the original hardware.
It might have, if you do emulate, there is a thing that you could use which is like a plugin on various emulators, these retro achievements. And it's great because it adds all things like, there might be an achievement, like you say, with that that adds challenge to various things. It might be simple things like, jump 100 times kind of thing.
Yeah.
But equally, there might be finish a level with your lives on 99.
Yeah.
Something
so
like
I
that.
think, thinking about this, we should set up some challenge leagues on the Focus on Gaming podcast. And we should put it out there on our Facebook group and see if people can achieve these things.
Well, I think we'd have to do them first, I think, and go, this is what we did. Can you beat us? Which generally, I think there are a lot of people out there that can beat us. But you never know.
Let's give it a go.
You do see, have you seen some of these crazy Mario Maker levels that people... They have to constantly do the spinning down and they're bouncing around and bouncing off walls and Oh, they stress me out just watching them.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm just not that dedicated.
it's the equivalent of Dark Souls. It's the
Yeah.
Mario equivalent of Dark Souls. And like, no, I would have died 1,000 times. And the fact that you have to go back to the beginning of these levels, there's no checkpoints or anything.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I'm not that
stressful.
dedicated, but I mean, I'd always give things a go. But yeah, so if we can do it, keep your eyes open, listeners, and we'll put together some leagues and some
I mean,
challenges.
I am a bit of an achievement whore. I'm currently on about 265,000 on Xbox. I generally don't go for 1,000-point completions, but I do. I'll think like, hang on a minute. There's going to be an achievement to do with secrets, or there's going to be an achievement to do with talking to everybody, or something like that. Or I'll just check true achievements, but especially with story ones, you don't want to spoil the stories. But recently, I've actually 1,000-pointed humanity, which meant I had to complete 30 normal levels, community levels, and I had to beat 10 hard ones. Oh god, the community in that game are absolutely fantastic. They're a lot more creative than me, but there's some that are so hard to work out. But I managed 10 of them. But people have made tic-tac-toe, all sorts of weird, wonderful things in there. It's brilliant. Still highly recommend that game.
Did you stay up late doing this, Duncan?
I did it over a few days. And what I'm going to be doing in my 24-hour stream next week is some humanity community levels.
Okay.
I've got that all prepped and ready.
Duncan will not be beating out hard ones late at night on his stream, by the
way. I do like
it will be PG.
I do like to beat out hard. Oh, trust me, there's going to be things in that stream that are going to make me swear, I think.
So we're going to be doing some Rocket League with you.
Yes.
Yeah. It would be good to get some Mario Kart on the go if we can.
We'll get I have got some retro set up. I think, though, I set up doing some retro on the Sunday morning.
Okay.
So it's like early on the Sunday morning. So we'll see. I can change times.
Well, there is on Retro Arc, you can do net play. So maybe
yes, you can.
There's scope to do that on.
I mean, obviously, I've only ever played you at American Arcadia 2 races, and I won one. So 50-50 is pretty good.
You did.
Pretty good.
It's never going to happen again, mind you. So
yeah. Well, if I don't play you, it won't ever happen again, will it? So it's like what was it? PUBG Mobile. I played PUBG Mobile once and I won.
Yeah.
It may even be that was full of bots just to test you, like to get you into the game. Yeah. So I've got 1 win. So my win percentage on PUBG Mobile is 100%. And I'm happy with that. Uninstalled it, never played it again.
And your record stands.
So yeah, my stats will be on there as I won 100%.
I like it. I like it.
So at the moment, yeah, I'm 50% with you. Yeah,
you are.
I'm happy with that.
Of course, that means I have to obliterate you now on every other game possible.
Ooh.
Only Mario Kart, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not good at anything else.
Well, I don't profess to be a fantastic gamer. This is why I like puzzle games, because I can sit and think about them, and if my brain's mush, it just takes me longer to work them out.
Well, maybe we should have a Tetris challenge.
Oh, okay, Tetris. Yeah. It does. I mean, nowadays with my dodgy eyes, it's probably a bit sort of like, what's going on? I don't know.
Right. We're equal anyway because I wear glasses for it as well, so it's fine. So let's talk about what's in the news, because there's been.
Hang on, I haven't talked about what I play, because there's a game I really wanted to tell you. I really wanted to tell you about. It's actually a story-based game. It's called American Arcadia. I played it on Steam. I got it as part of a bundle.
Yeah,
and it's a really good story. It's sort of like, imagine the Truman Show, but a whole city.
Okay.
There's a dome that is everybody. You can watch anybody and everybody, and you play. There's two games within one. There's one is a side-scrolling game where you're controlling the person that's in, and that's like a puzzling, running and jumping kind of thing. So it's a side-scrolling. It's very, it's got a very nice art style. And then there's another game which is a first-person. You're controlling somebody who works outside of the dome and is trying to help release you from the dome. You basically tell this person that you're on a TV show. And yeah, it's about you escaping. And it's just a fantastic story and it's a fantastic game. There are some fiddly bits with the controls in some areas, but it's not that bad. It's just I can't believe I'd never heard of it. It just came part American Arcadia. And it's quite funny as well. It's got some quite funny bits because you control this guy who's just like, I'm just an accountant. And yeah, so it's got funny, it's got great story, it's got some really good puzzles. Never particularly hard puzzles. And yeah, it's available for pennies on Steam. I think I read somewhere that they are working on a console version, or it might be available on a console. I don't know, but yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I got it as part of a bundle on Humble Bundle. It was available, and so yeah, it is available on Windows, and hopefully they'll be bringing it out on consoles because I think it deserves to be out on them. So yeah, that's my game. Go out and get it.
Checking it out. Sounds good.
Right. So yeah, in the news, as you were saying, well, I think we are a little bit late to this, but it is a game that I wanted to play. Was the Life by You, which is basically The Sims, but released by Paradox, who are City Skylines and such like, and Stellaris, I think they do as well. Yeah, and they just cancelled the game and then closed down one of their studios that were making it.
Yeah. It's a shame. It looks so good.
It looked so good, and The Sims has a monopoly on that kind of game. And the fact that you have to spend, I think I saw a stat recently, it was something like $1,200 to buy every single DLC. Yeah, and that's just ridiculous. What they could also do is they could unlock it to The Sims. They could unlock it to modders and things like that, and allow people to do all this. I think there are unofficial mods, but no, why do that when they can make more money? And this looked like it might be, it might make The Sims better in the long run. But
I suspect it will make its way out on something at some time.
Well, apparently it was all pretty much done. So it could be one of these tax write-off things where they've gone, it's always going to cost a lot to advertise it, to release it, to get it released onto consoles, the fees and whatnot. So we'll just write it off as a tax loss and make some money. Like, what's that movie that they did that with? Batgirl, wasn't it? Batgirl. Literally, it was ready to be released. And then they went, oh, no, it was a load of rubbish. We're not going to release it. And all the people who made it were like, what? And it was basically a tax write-off.
Yeah.
It will probably, at some point, there's going to be a copy of it somewhere, and it will get either released or leaked of some way or form. But the problem with these is that with games is that they have to be compiled into a certain format and whatnot. So if it's not done that way, then we ain't going to see it. Which is, as I said, it's a massive shame. I love a life simulator. Although I haven't played The Sims for a long time. I think my boys, occasionally enjoy it. They like to build silly things and get people locked in a room and whatnot, as you do. I think as about 50% of people do. So, how can I kill them in different ways?
I was more of a SimCity person than a Sims.
I did
I
like
had a
Sim City, but it just eventually gets too big and too complex.
yeah.
And you're like, I know what I'm doing. And then a hurricane comes along and destroys your city.
Well, I had someone that had like every single version of Sims with all the extras and expansions and all this lot, and I was like, who's got the room, let alone the time? And I don't know, but
I mean, the DLCs as well are all entirely separate. You know, you can have entirely separate parts of the game. So if you're playing the university one, you can't be doing the Halloween thing or whatever it is. Or
no.
So yeah. So no one ever is going to buy. Well, there probably is somebody who's got every bit of DLC.
She had everything.
Oh
So,
dear Lord!
but my partner is playing Zoo
Tycoon,
Yeah,
Planet Zoo.
Zoo Tycoon, but the first one, the very original, not the remake and not the remaster, but the very original one.
On what device?
She's
Or
playing
what?
on a laptop, and
Okay.
she loves it. She absolutely loves it. I mean, I found she owns it, so it's fine. But I found it online, as you do, and downloaded it. So, but she does own the original. But all laptops now generally don't have a disk drive, so
Nope.
that's the
No.
problem.
Yeah, I remember playing the original one of that. I mean, the theme park is probably the one that I enjoyed, especially the fact that you could do roller coasters that didn't end or didn't have an ending, and people would just fly off into. And unfortunately, yeah, people dying would make your theme park's popularity go down, but who cares? I got loads of people. I saw a thing recently. My son was watching a YouTube video, and this guy had done a theme park ride, and he put the speed right down and made it really, really, really long. So it took something like 47 years to complete this roller coaster, and there's just this guy going around just so slow. And yeah, by the time he finished it, it's like the guy would have been dead or something like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the amount of stupid crap you could do with it was hilarious.
Some people are so twisted. I like it. So, are you drinking water there, Duncan?
This would be lemonade.
Oh.
It really is lemonade.
Are you okay?
Advertising Lidl, but yeah, Lidl's lemonade.
Are you okay? Are you sick?
No. I did have one beer, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm not advertising Lidl, but that is Lidl.
I'm just checking, being a caring co-presenter, making sure you're okay.
If I start slurring words in this episode, it'll be because I'm having a stroke. And so,
love it.
I do look back because I'm the editor. I do obviously have to listen to some of the episode again, and sometimes I'm like, "Oh God, I could tell I was." Yeah, that was the point where I started drinking too much.
It's the stress of editing.
Yeah, we're not called the podcast anymore, so I don't have to drink. But
yeah. So looking at some of the more, I say interesting things, Capcom is on one again. So essentially, I've been doing a bit of reading on this. The Marvel versus Capcom license is about to expire. And they are releasing the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Arcade Classics. It's going to be $49.99, and it will have every single Street Fighter,
Marvel Capcom,
so Darkstalkers, Fighting Collection,
not
New
just
Age Heroes, everything.
Not just your basic Street Fighters ones.
Yeah,
I mean Capcom are the one-on-one fighting kings. I think. Forget all this Mortal Kombat and all that kind of thing.
Well, stand corrected on one thing: it won't have Darkstalkers. That's a separate collection they released. But it will have Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It will have X-Men: Children of Atom. Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom, Clash of Superheroes, New Heroes, Street Fighter versus X-Men versus, and the scrolling beat 'em up of the Punisher. So yeah, it's coming to PlayStation 4, Switch, PC later this year, physically and digitally. So, but it's going to be $49.99. I don't know if it's worth that.
Yeah, well, that'll just be to get the money back. Won't it? It's one of these ones where within 6 months, yeah, at least half price, if not, pennies kind of thing.
I enjoyed the Street Fighter collection, the arcade collection. I thought that was very good, where they had all the different Street Fighter games from alphas to Third Strike and the originals.
I mean, I love one-on-one fighters. I really do. The problem is that they were great for me in the time of sharing a house with my mates and having my mates around. Generally now, I go out to see friends, and I don't want to play online because you just generally meet a load of tryhards kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, you get all sorts of complaints, don't you? With, I mean, sometimes problem is with one-on-one games is that the response time has to be milliseconds.
Yeah,
And yeah, so yeah, I'm not that good at them. I'm not again not professing to be that good, but I want to have fun with the game, and
yeah.
my reactions aren't what they used to
My
be.
problem is
Yeah.
whenever you come round, or whenever anyone would come round and play, I always forget to charge the second controller. So that's never a good thing. So anyway,
I get the I've got the Venom dual controller charger point, so I just literally drop mine, and it's got two controller chargers.
I've got that as well, but I still forget to do it. So yeah, I'm good like that. But next time you're coming round, as long as I've got a day's notice, I'll make sure everything's charged.
Next I want to talk about, it was somebody scanned some legal documents from a 1981 case between Nintendo and Universal Studios, who are now actually good friends, because that's where the Mario Land, like the physical theme park Mario Land is. But one of the thing that made the headlines was all the alternatives that they came up with, and the the one that we could have all been playing was Kong Dong. We could have all been playing with our Kong Dong. Would you like to go and play my Kong Dong?
Mate, if you want to come around and play that, together, we can.
Could you imagine it though? It was, I mean,
it's just disturbing, isn't it?
I mean, obviously, it's probably someone somewhere not knowing what it meant in English, and probably it was probably somebody who had English as a second language, and so it was something that rhymed. But for those that are listening that maybe don't have English as their first language, dong means penis. So yeah, apparently there was other names. Funny Kong, Kong the Kong. I mean, what's Kong the Kong? Well, Jack Kong, Funky Kong, Bill Kong, Steel Kong, Giant Kong. Thank God they didn't go with Giant Dong. Big Kong, Kong Down, Kong Dong, Mr. Kong, Custom Kong, Kong Chase, Kong Boy, Kong Man. Oh, you don't want to play with your boy Kong, do you? That'll get you on a list somewhere. Kong Fighter, Wild Kong, Rookie Kong, and Kong Holiday. So yeah. All the names that were Donkey Kong is still weird. I mean, what is Donkey's got to do with anything?
Yeah, it's just all a bit much, really.
There's probably a reason for Donkey Kong, but yeah, and apparently Nintendo won the case. They were allowed to carry on using Kong. I presume it's because I think Kong means something in another language, something. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure I read up somewhere why is King Kong called King Kong, and it is something to do with the animals or the monsters or the kaiju kind of thing.
They only actually won the case, from what I can gather, because
technicality.
Universal renewed the copyright on the movie, but not on something else, and that's how they got away with it. So
to one of these technicalities.
Yeah, so I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but it was something along those lines. So,
and it was back. I mean, this is 43 years ago, so back then as well, legalities they wouldn't have put it gaming as anything to do with movies, would they? They would have been like, oh, it's completely different.
Yeah, and I think that was the key. They got away with it that way. So, but hey, we have now.
Kong. We could have had Kong Dong instead of Donkey Kong.
Instead, we have Donkey Kong HD
remaster, yes, which Martin is very much looking forward to. I think coming out on Switch. So next we got big news possibly for Amazon Fire Stick users or 4K Fire Stick users is that Amazon and Microsoft have joined forces and they're officially supporting Xbox Cloud Gaming on the Fire Stick. So if you have a 4K Fire Stick, I think probably.
That's right. Yeah.
It's got the slightly faster processor, so it's worth having the 4K one. Any kind of Bluetooth controller, connect it up, and you're away. You can play Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, it does mean you've got to have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but for I think it's $13.99 a month,
something like that. Yeah,
£13.99. That's not too bad. Plus, that you can get bargains if you look around. So obviously, I'm coming at it a different way. It means I can play in bed. If I don't want to get the Steam Deck out, I can use my. I've got.
That was a slip up, wasn't it?
If I don't want to get my deck out.
Yeah. Actually, you did say something else then, but still.
Did I?
You did.
I said Steam Deck, didn't I?
Steam Deck, you said.
Well, maybe I'm from New Zealand. Have a look at my dick. Have you seen that? Have you seen those adverts?
I haven't.
Like made up adverts. Look up New Zealand deck advert, and it's just a load of adverts. I think made up.
We had
about the guy's dick sealant. Look at my dick; it's lovely.
My kids got the chance to play. Sorry, we digress here a second. Got the chance to play the Beavis and Butthead game the other day, and they were like,
"The Hackaloogie."
Yeah, who's Beavis and Butthead? And I said, okay. So we had a look on TikTok, and there's this one clip where one of them's walking around going, "I am Conholio," and
I am the teepee for my bunghole.
Yeah, and then he's gone. I don't want to get polio in my gunghole and things like that. And he's and the kids.
Are you threatening me?
This is the one. So they were fooling about. So now it's taken on its own thing, and they're walking about saying it. So yeah,
I am the great Conholio. I eat teepee from my bunghole. Where I come from, we have no bunghole. Bungholio. Yes. I loved it. I remember absolutely wetting myself when they first did that, and then they had the movie which had it all in it, and just it was whenever Beavis had sugar, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, he got ADHD. And
so back to Amazon Microsoft. Yes, so I'm coming it from a different place. I can play in the bedroom when I can get my deck out.
Okay. Yep.
Whereas you're playing it for somebody who doesn't have an Xbox. So would this make you maintain your Game Pass?
If I can grab the now I'm doing it, APK file and shove it on my Google stick, then yes, I do have the original Fire Stick, not the 4K. But yeah, if I grab the APK, put it on the Google stick, and if it works without burning the thing out, I will definitely partake.
Yeah, I mean, I said I had the 4K one, so I'll definitely be installing it. To be honest, I mean, I've got Luna on there, and that works fine. And I also own things on Ubisoft, so which they allow you to use for free. So I could play Luna a lot
In
if
all
I wanted
fairness,
to already, and
yeah,
I haven't.
the 4K Fire Stick now on Facebook Marketplace is £5.
Well, there
So
you
if you
go.
want Game Pass and
Yeah, I
oh,
mean, I think full Prime. Well, their Prime Day is coming up in about 2.5 weeks.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I think the full price of the 4K one is about £55 or something like that. It's not cheap, but it's so cheap in sales quite often.
yeah,
Yeah, grab one and get Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, it's.
sounds like the way
I think
forward.
it would. I think they are aiming to get more people in, but I think they all are aware that it's not going to be the start of some that their complete and utter dominance. I think though that it will keep people like you within the ecosystem, and people like you will go, oh, hang on, I can play it there, and that means I can play it without any problem. I can
Yeah,
just and if 2 in 20 people, or 1 in 10 people, does that currently has it or thinks about having it, then all good.
yeah. I think to be honest with you, the subscriptions are all becoming a bit much, and there's too many of them. So I think how that is solved, I don't know, but
Yeah, I think a lot of them, the TV ones in America. I think recently I think is it Disney and Paramount have actually. Well,
Hulu,
there's one of them that have a few of them that have joined up into one package.
yeah,
I mean, in the UK we have Sky. I think you could get Netflix and Paramount and Disney as part of your package. I think Amazon do it as well as their channels, but you can only get Paramount and some other not great ones.
yeah,
Like the reality TV kind of things. So yeah, I think this is the thing. I think there needs to be a gaming thing like that where Xbox go, okay, yeah, we will. Yeah, here we will be part of PlayStation Plus. We will be part of Nintendo Switch Online. If you do a premium section, we'll allow you to sell it for £8.
yeah. I think
And then you can sell it for. We'll charge you £8, and you sell it to your people for £8.50, £12, whatever.
well, I think Nintendo have got it right. Nintendo charge £19 a year for the basic, which is
Yeah,
very
but
good.
that's not. I mean, yes, you get a lot of games for that, but they're retro games,
They're retro, yeah.
which are great, but they don't help you get
No.
like Tears of the Kingdom.
PlayStation is £13.99, I think, a month.
Oh, they got the 3 different ones. They've got
Yeah,
Xbox have 3 actually.
yeah,
You have Core, and then you have the separate Xbox and separate PC Game Pass, and then you have Ultimate, which is all of the above plus
yeah,
cloud gaming. PlayStation has PlayStation. Oh, anyway, it's basically the PlayStation Basic, just to
yeah.
play online.
I think it's like £6.49.
Yeah, then they have the Extra, which
Yeah,
is like
that's
um,
£9.99. I
it's
think it is.
and that's all of the PlayStation Plus games,
I
I
think
think.
it is. Yeah, and
But
then
you can't. I think you can only stream some of the retro games, can't you?
yeah,
And then
yeah,
the PlayStation Premium, which is you can stream, download, and all sorts
and that's
various
13
things.
something a month.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's, I guess it's what your use case is. I mean, how far do you go? That's the difficulty. It'd be interesting to see if those things could come in with like Sky or one of those sort of
well,
now.
Phil Spencer has stated quite a few times that he'd love to work with PlayStation. He'd love to work with Nintendo, but I think obviously Sony are like, yeah, we're not falling for that one, Phil.
Mm.
Yeah, no, we're not stupid.
And he knows them inside out as well, doesn't he? That's fancy.
Yeah. So, will it happen in the future that we see Game Pass on a Sony platform. I won't say never. It's not looking likely to happen in the next couple of years, but you never know. With the next generation, Microsoft might go, okay, tell you what, we won't produce a home console if you put Game Pass on your thing. Now, granted, that loses a lot of money for PlayStation in terms of subscriptions for them. But at the same time, if it was done like a channel, yes, they could still charge and earn money from it. But it would completely wipe out home consoles for people like me. So I would I would keep my Series X or whatever. But as we know, that we might get a handout.
I think it's inevitable for next year.
I think from what he said, Phil said, I think there is a high likelihood of it happening. Just when, I think, is the issue.
I think it's going to be around the same time as the Switch 2 and the early steps into the Steam Deck 2.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be silly to wait until sort of 2027 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because everybody will have a Switch 2, they'll have a Steam Deck 2, they'll be like, what do we want Xbox for? So I think it's got to be within the next 18 months.
Yeah.
It's got to be released.
And I think that if Nintendo get it right with the Steam Deck 2, sorry, the Switch 2, with backwards compatibility plus the higher spec, then I think they've got a jump on everyone else. They will outsell everyone again.
Yeah.
Because they are the biggest selling console of this generation, or these past 7 years. So, do we... Yeah, it's a difficult one. And obviously, Zuckerberg, Meta, just announced that he's almost ready to show off his holographic display glasses. It's a fly buzzing around my head.
So is that like a augmented reality headset?
Yeah. So it's the Ray-Ban glasses, which is just audio, which apparently are fantastic. I've never tried them, but apparently they're fantastic. With a holographic display, and he reckons there's going to be 3 models: the audio one with cameras, which is what is already out; the holographic display mid-range, which will have just notifications, and then the whole shebang, which will have gaming, turn-based navigation, virtual calls, where you can sit in a room with someone and play a game like chess or dominoes or whatever.
Could you imagine just looking at somebody and they got their glasses on and they're just going
it will be a thing. But it will mean, so he's also saying that there's something they've been working on, which is a Neuralink band that goes around your wrist. And he said it's quite hard to explain this. So there are ways in which the nervous system communicates with the brain. Okay. And through picking up these neuro twitches and movements in the arm, you can actually train someone to be able to text through using this wristband. So essentially, you would sit there, not move, and still be able to play Xbox Game Pass while wearing the glasses, listening to music, taking a phone call. And he said, the form factor isn't at normal size Ray-Ban Meta glasses, but it's almost there. And it's something he's going to be starting to show off soon.
Oh, there you go. I was reading here. It does say a public launch is not expected until 2027.
Well, he didn't specify a date in the interview. What he said was the form factor isn't there quite yet. He said it's just slightly bulkier than the existing glasses. But it's interesting that he's going to start showing off the beta version, perhaps in the coming months, which means, is this something that could potentially, because you've got the X-Real glasses and the Endgame glasses and that can do Game Pass, so is it something that perhaps is also
I think with these mixed reality or these things, you've got the ability to have a screen, but in real life kind of thing. So it does make you feel less enclosed, like with VR. The only thing I'm fine with VR. It doesn't give me motion sickness or anything, but you do feel like you're separate from the world, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like the real world. Even with pass through, you're sort of like it's almost like you're in VR still. And so if you're just wearing a pair of glasses, like if I could get a pair of prescription sunglasses, like I currently wear, and that I could just go beep and hey presto. I think at the moment, you can get the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are basically just camera.
yeah.
And I think they connect. I don't know whether it's Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or RFID or what, but they connect to your other device and can stream and whatnot. But it's a long way to go, I think, to get like you said, the form factor down to enough where you're not going, hang on, I'll just put my glasses on, and you just we go clunk.
Wallace, get me glasses.
Just get me glasses out of its suitcase.
From it. I think though that is with that Neuralink technology, I think there is so much scope there because let's face it, mobile phones are a killer when it comes to being present. You look at the kids now; they're walking around, they're looking at their phones. I needed to run some kid over yesterday, I think it was, down the seafront because
she was missed.
I tried not to. Honest.
God, we're cars are allowed on this pavement, you know.
I was playing Gran Turismo in me specs, but no, I think that's something that's hopefully will be the next version of mobile phones, or will run in conjunction with. So,
well, this is what we talked about quite a few episodes, haven't we? Where we talked about the future of gaming hardware, and I think we've established that some kind of handheld, some kind of version where it's readily available wherever you want, I think is probably the future. So
Duncan just wants a handheld Xbox.
A handheld Xbox that is still an open PC would be my thumbs up at the moment.
I mean, it runs off the Windows architecture in the background anyway, doesn't it? The Xbox, so in theory, it would. So time will but tell.
Yeah, we'll see.
Archaeologists will be digging up the youth of today, and they'll all have crook necks and look like aliens and things like that.
They'll all be in this position with their hand right in front of their face.
Yeah, there are arthritis where their hands are all crooked, where they've been holding their devices.
They're always like this, aren't they? With they're sort of holding their fingers flat.
Oh yeah, and
what? Big lips and whatnot.
What
are you doing?
Yeah,
and yet they look at us and go, "Oh yeah, you're all really old and fogies and everything."
Yeah, and
you just wait, kids. You'll be like us in 20 years' time.
That's it.
We were all at that point where we went, no. I'll always be doing this, or I'll always be this, and I'll always be cool. And
well, we are.
Then again, I was never cool. I don't know what I'm talking about there.
I don't know if I was ever cool. That's not for me to decide. But I mean, we do run a gaming podcast, and we do still game at 45, so we're doing something right.
Well, there are still many people that would dictate that that's not, sort of the future that they would like for their children. But no, it's definitely a thing where it's become less of a taboo. I think there's less of the people thinking that you're just some fat, smelly guy in your mom's basement. I'm just a fat, smelly guy in my own house.
Well, I'm fat.
Yeah, hang on, just have a look.
I don't smell, but I'm fat.
You can't smell me from there, though.
No, that technology
mile and a half away.
Not quite there yet. So. Although, actually, yes, it is. I saw it on Techmoan about 6 months ago.
Oh, God. Oh, could you imagine that, though? Oh, look, have you got smell-o-vision?
No, especially with your farts. Anyway, we digress. Forza 5 has released some iconic cars from movies such as Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, and Knight Rider. So they're coming to Forza 5, I guess, as content downloads. So you have to pay for them, I would assume.
Yes, it is a paid DLC.
Yeah,
believe.
I mean the DeLorean looks fantastic. So,
yeah, I mean, it has had the DeLorean before, but
Mm.
this is the DeLorean from Back to the Future, isn't it? It's not. It's, and I think, isn't it the Back to the Future 2 DeLorean? So it
It is.
probably is
Yeah.
the hover one. I haven't actually seen
But it seems to have
a
wheels.
video of it.
It
Oh, it has.
seem to have wheels.
Oh, that'd be cool if you could press the horn button and the wheels fold up inside.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love Forza 5, and yeah, it's a thing that I want. So,
well, we were talking about this as well because Forza Horizon 4 is being delisted at the end of the year. Well, I say at the end of the year, later in the year. But what they have stated is that anybody who has played it with Game Pass and still has an active Game Pass subscription on, I think it was the 26th of June, will get a free copy of Forza Horizon 4 to keep. So even when it gets delisted, you'll still be able to download it.
and you can play online as well.
Yeah, and I have. I've already received my token because I actually bought the upgrade, the premium upgrade, because it was on sale for like a tenner or something. So I was like, "Hey, get all these things for free," and it's the one in Britain, so we should of course love it. But yeah, Forza Horizon 5, I loved it. I absolutely caned it when it came out. It's got Kit from Knight Rider. That'd be cool.
I wish it had Street Hawk as well. I'd like Street Hawk in there.
That was the motorbike, wasn't it?
Motorbike, yeah. That was my first ever pedal bike when I was a kid, and I had the dress-up outfit and the helmet. So those are the days.
Just looking up. So it gets 5 different vehicles. So it's Back to the Future, Back to the Future, The Who, Back to the Future 3, Jurassic Park, and Knight Rider. It's for $10. I'm just trying to find the actual link of it so I can see exactly what vehicles on it.
You can download it.
See, I haven't touched Forza Horizon 4 for quite a while. It's again, I absolutely caned it when I came out, so now there's not much for me to do in it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there is lots of. I haven't got all the vehicles or anything like that. I think. And I haven't played it since apparently you can get the Barbie vehicle.
Oh.
That was another one. Barbie iconic 1956 Chevrolet Corvette EV and the Ken 2022 GMC Hummer EV pickup as well from last year that you could get.
Forza 5 has just simply the Knight Rider, the Jurassic Park Jeep, and 3 DeLoreans. And that's it.
So it is the better. Hang on, wasn't the DeLorean in the third one powered by a train?
The third one,
because it broke down, didn't it? And they had to get the train up to 88 miles
so
an
it
hour.
has different tires, and it has a different front engine. But everything else is the same. So the coolest one seems to be the second one in the game. No sign. It has lots of lights on it, but no sign of hovering, I'm afraid. So, but still, I mean, for £10.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, hang on. For $8.99.
I was going to say it's $10. $10 it is.
Yeah. Well, no, it's actually gone down now. So it's $8.99.
It's probably if you have Game Pass, yeah, it'd be cheaper. I think you get. I want to say 10% off everything that's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It might be 20%. Don't quote me on that. It's 10 or 20%. I might get that. I might get them. You never know.
Reviews are very good. The first review on here actually says we could also get the Ghostbusters Ecto 1, Herbie the Love Bug, Bumblebee, Jazz Beachcomber, Autobots, Decepticons, and so Mad Max cars, and so on. So they've started something now. So maybe it's going to become a thing.
I'm just looking up Forza Horizon add-ons. Because I do believe I have the Forza Horizon 5 premium add-on. So I don't think that comes with all of the DLC because I think there's quite a lot of DLC for it. So it needs. I'm just trying to find the Forza Horizon 5. Requires a game. Yes, I know it requires a game. Then show me the game that it requires. Anyway, yeah. So premium add-ons bundle comes with Hot Wheels, Rally Adventure, Car Pass, VIP membership, and welcome pack. Go to game. Yeah, I'm just looking up. Sorry, this is me being very excited. So, tell you what, while I'm looking at it, why don't we go on about the fact that we were, because we were looking for things to do with 50. Now, it isn't a brand new game, but there has become a brand new, or there is an update coming out for Atari 50, wasn't there?
There is, yeah. So they're getting 39 new games. I say new games, retro games. Yeah. So on the
apparently it's all to do with the fact that they've taken over the what's it called, the Intellivision brand. So yeah, so that's a bit of a turn up for the books, and that now Atari are releasing Intellivision games.
Funny enough, it's a physical version of this release for the Switch and the PS5, and it includes a steel box that comes with art cards, miniature arcade marquee signs, our Acorn replica Synergy Co business card, which will retail at £39.40, or just the standard game £31.50. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good, really.
Yeah, are they games that you will play? Do you think?
No. Absolutely not. So, because I can download them for nothing, and I probably already own them. So, no, I'm not going to do it. And most of the Atari games were crap. So, why would I bother?
I'm not arguing with you with that part. No,
They
haven't aged well, have they?
They were good back in the day, but let's face it now, they're shit. And I don't want to play that game again. Unless you're going to provide me with an updated version of the original game, and then I might play Space Invaders.
I do like a bit of Space Invaders. That's pretty good. Also, to show people, like kids, how games used to be, kind of thing. It's a good one because it has still aged. It's aged a lot better than the rest of them. You've got your iconic Atari games like your Frogger, your Space Invaders, your Defender, that kind of thing. But then, that's like sort of 4 or 5 games. And could you imagine now, like if Xbox or PlayStation had 4 or 5 good games and all the rest were rubbish?
But I suppose back in the day they were iconic, and there are a lot of people now that will collect boxed Atari games, me included. So at some point in my collecting days, I wouldn't do it now. They don't last very well. They decay very fast. But there are people that will go out actively looking to get a complete collection of Atari games for nostalgia. But actually, when you go back to play like Empire Strikes Back and things like that, they're just dreadful. I mean, Return of the Jedi, okay, that gets a pass because it is a pretty fun game to play. But beyond that, they're all pony.
Return of the Jedi and Atari.
Yeah.
Was that the one going down the trench?
Yeah.
No, hang on. No, I'm just looking at a video preview. I see. Yeah, like an overhead sort of isometric view, wasn't it?
Yeah. I enjoyed that one. I thought it was very good.
What was the Star Wars, the one where you'd literally go down the Death Star trench?
There was an isometric one, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was like a wireframe graphics.
Yeah, that was
an arcade game as well, wasn't it? Yeah, but you had to press the missile button at exactly the right time.
It's just called Atari Star Wars.
Okay.
That was fantastic. I enjoyed that one.
I remember playing that a lot.
I think it was just called the arcade game. I think it was literally that, and I enjoyed it a lot.
it was the one with like the handlebar controls, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. And recently, Arcade One Up did a replica of that arcade machine. So you can actually go and buy it for like £200 now and have it in your lounge. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
I don't think the wife would probably allow me
maybe not
to have that in the living room.
But maybe you could have it in where you record the podcast. I mean, sounds fair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this building. I think equally, she does tutoring, my wife, and I think if she brings any students in here and there's arcade machines going beep 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 beep, I think equally she might kill me.
She may not. She may not get their attention.
And that's even before she goes. How much did that cost?
I think there are in the back of my head, I have plans for many years to come, and not now because it's not in the affordability plan to build an office where we can record the podcast and have some arcade machines and bits and bobs. So, yeah, in years to come, who knows?
Well, at some point we will get on a tour and retro thing and maybe do a recording in an arcade or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, I'll beat you at games because I will beat you.
Of course, but I will then take your legs out from underneath you and still win. So we were talking about Atari, and obviously back in 2022, it was their 50-year anniversary. So with the add-on of the games on that, we thought we'd link it in with the 50th episode and talk about our memories of Atari and our thoughts on the company and their various machines. So what's your first memory of Atari, Duncan?
Oh, well, I come from a town called Redditch, and when I lived up there, I used to go after school, or before I went to school, sorry. I used to go around to somebody's house and they had an Atari. So it's probably what started my love of gaming, I suppose. And so, yeah, they used to let me play, and I think they had a game with tanks, I want to say.
Yeah.
They had Frogger. And I remember playing Frogger lots and lots and lots of. But I moved out of that house when I was 4. So I would have been probably 3 or 4. And I still remember going around there and playing that. So and there's not much I remember from that age, obviously. So yeah, that would be right. So that would have been 1981.
Yes, tanks would have been about that.
Yeah. So maybe as late as 1982, but I think we moved out Easter 82, I think. So any time around then. So when did Atari the 2600 come out?
2600, I think, was 82, wasn't it?
Atari came out in 1977.
77.
Wow.
Really? That's amazing.
That is pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean, it is. It was Pong. Home Pong is 50 years old next year. Yeah, we looked that up. It came out in the EU in 1978. So that was the year I was born, 1978. So
I was born in 79. So, but 30 million units were sold worldwide of the VCS, which is the Atari Woody 2600.
Did they have Pac-Man? I don't know if they had Pac-Man.
They had a clone of everything. So some license.
No, yeah, it did have Pac-Man because, but I was just wondering if the people I knew had Pac-Man. But yeah, so I loved it. My first one of me owning something was the Spectrum, so I didn't go home and get it. My dad had an Atari-ish kind of console that was basically Pong. One of the Pong clones that we talked about with the Curious Game machines, and that was just basically 10 different versions of Pong with a light gun version of Pong. But the Atari, no, that's the only one. And then obviously the Atari Jaguar came out. I didn't get one, but like everybody else, I was like, "Ooh, 64-bit! Whoa!"
I love the Atari Jaguar. You
love it, but at the same time, it wasn't. It was there were some ideas that were ahead of its time, some ideas that were not.
Well, it wasn't 64-bit for a
The
start.
controller wasn't the best, was it?
No, you put overlays on the buttons,
Yeah.
and that gave you the different, controls to different games.
Yeah, it was like nine buttons or something, wasn't it?
And then some, yeah. But you know what? It was good in the hand. However weird that sounds, it was good in the hand. Alien versus Predator on the Atari Jaguar was phenomenal. Probably one of the best games I've ever played. Doom was incredible. What was the other one? Duke Newton was that? Did that come out? I can't remember. Or did I just have a demo for that? Bear with. I think.
Well, I mean, the other thing that obviously I well known for Atari is the Atari ST. I again didn't have one myself, but I had a good friend who had one, and obviously everybody with the Atari ST versus the Amiga, yeah, the 1200 and whatnot, and yeah, it was you had either the Atari or the Amiga kind of thing if you weren't a home console person, and I think if I remember rightly, the Amiga was ever so slightly more powerful,
The
but
Amiga was, yeah.
But they were very, very similar, and most games that were on one were on the other. But Amiga had a bit more, and sort of eventually. But as we found out when talking to various interviewees, is the fact that about Atari, was it they tried to. Commodore came along and usurped them for Amiga because Amiga were bailed out by Atari and then bought by Commodore. So there's not a surprise that that they became competitors because, not the nicest thing to do when a company's bailed out a company is then sell yourself to their competitors. But as we said before, I think it would make a great Netflix show. All the backroom drama and the usurping. I can imagine the realities of it was very much lots of boardroom things that were very boring and contracts and all this kind of thing. But I'm sure
I suspect
somebody could dramatise it.
Well, with the crash of the industry involved in ET and that, I think it will make a very good documentary, and I'm sure it will eventually come. I'm just looking at their website now, and they have an Atari XP 50th anniversary limited edition set of 10 cartridges and covers that have been made as display pieces, and it's only $1,000. So, yeah.
I'll get two of them then.
Yeah, why not? So, but yeah, so
well, then again, it'll probably be worth a bit if you look after it.
Well, maybe. Duke Newton came out as a homebrew, and I had that as well. So, but yeah, the Atari Jaguar was actually 32-bit, I believe.
Yeah, it was all a bit of a marketing swizz, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you ever have an Atari Lynx?
I thought I did. But then it turned out I actually had a Neo Geo Pocket Color. But I think I may have had a Lynx at some point, but only briefly. And I think I may have sold it for something else.
Okay.
So
mostly, you had a Neo
mostly because it was crap.
Okay. So you had a Neo Geo Pocket Color rather than a PC Engine GT.
The Neo Geo Pocket Color was just little handheld.
Yeah.
Bit rubbish.
So I had more than two friends, but I knew two people that had. So one of them lived around the corner from me, and he had a Atari Lynx, and we had to play on it. And I had the Game Boy, and he always used to say to me, "Oh, but mine's color," and I'd be like, "Yeah, but yours is plugged in." And then I had a cousin that had the PC Engine GT handheld, which had a color dot matrix display, and it would play Street Fighter 2.
Oh, yes, I remember that one.
And it was the only
tiny screen.
It did, and it was the only version of Street Fighter at the time that had the bosses that were playable. A phenomenal machine, but
it's worth a lot of money.
It is. Around the same time, I think you had the handheld Mega Drive as well, which was I can't remember the name of that. We had the what was that called? Handheld
Mega Drive. Oh, it was, yes. It was
Um,
never actually released properly, was it?
it was Nomad, Sega Nomad.
That's the one. It
Yeah, I
was only
think
released in Japan, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, or America, but I mean that came out around the same time and took actual Mega Drive cartridges, which was
Yeah,
fantastic.
bit weird.
But yeah, very much. I needed it to be plugged in unless you had a limited supply of batteries. But yeah, I mean, I love the new, well, not the new, but I love the Atari VCS that came out a few years back. That was massively overpriced, but you
Was
know,
that what the Plus thing? The one that I think we chatted about in the Atari episode, didn't
not
we?
the Plus. No, it was the VCS looked like the Woody, and it was a beautiful piece of kit, and it had the what looked like the original controller, and every time you would move the controller, it would light
Oh, the
up.
VCS base.
Yeah,
There's a VCS
yeah,
base, which is $200,
yeah. I didn't
only
buy.
available for shipping in the United States.
Yeah,
What?
I didn't buy one. I mean, it's to be honest with you, it's a bit dead now in the water, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and you know, I thought it was a
Oh,
beautiful.
this isn't a wooden one. This is like a plastic
It's a
thing,
plastic one that looks like the original.
and it's got a red back with USB, HDMI, Ethernet.
Yeah. So
Okay, yeah,
the
it
joystick
looks
that came with
pretty.
it, which looked like the original joystick, you'd move it and it'd light up little red LEDs, so it would show where you were moving to, and yeah, it was very cute. And it had downloads and things like that. It could be used as a PC as well.
It shipped with Antstream Arcade, which I
Yes.
had thought about buying Antstream Arcade. Problem is that if I get it on PC, it only works on PC. If I get it on Xbox, it only works on Xbox. There isn't
Mm,
you don't buy an account.
no.
So I'm just like, oh, do I want to watch it on big screen, or do I only want it on my Steam Deck? Yeah, so I really want it though. It's something like about 70, 80 pounds for a lifetime subscription,
Yeah.
which
It's,
is you know
it's coming to Game Pass apparently. So hold off.
okay.
So something like that I've heard. I don't know how
Well,
true it is.
apparently, I remember when it came out, and Phil Spencer was very much sort of, oh my god, I can't believe we got this. This is really good. It's coming to Xbox. And yeah, it's great because it adds all the modern things like high score leaderboards and challenges and achievements and whatnot. So it's a fantastic looking thing. But still, yeah, $200 for what is essentially a low powered emulation machine. Not for me.
It just looks the part, really, but
it looks pretty, but yeah, I don't know. 3D print one and have it on the shelf behind you. I'm sure somebody's probably put the 3D files up online somewhere. Which means you could do something slightly different, so you don't get sued.
well, this is it. This is it. So I think the days of Atari. Well, in fact, they only own the name. They're not even anything to do with the original Atari.
Yeah, I mean, after the crash, they were sold. And became a different company, and then a different company, and then they went tits up, and then they came back. Yeah, it's a company of many companies.
Yeah. And do you know what? I think eventually we'll see the current version of Atari buying out more retro companies and trying to get the licenses to then have more retro games on their systems. And I think, why not? What a great way of doing it. So, and it's something that's needed to preserve some of the historic stuff in gaming. So, yeah, I'm all for it, and I hope they're successful. Will I be buying any Atari products anytime soon? No. I might buy a hat or a T-shirt. Who knows? So,
Well,
anyway,
So let's get on to last little bit. 24-hour stream. It is the 6th of July, 2024, and I'll be starting at midday British summer time, which is basically, I think, the same as Europe at the moment, isn't it? Most of Europe.
Yeah.
And what are we, about something like 5 hours ahead of East Coast America and about 8 hours ahead of the West Coast. So, yeah, midday. So I'll be doing, I've got the list of games that I've put up so far. So I'll be doing Hitman. I'm going to try and do roulette. So it basically tells you what you've got to do in the level. I'm going to play This Bed We Made, mostly because I really wanted to play that game for ages. I'm just like, I might as well play a game that I want to play. It is a story-based game. So, and I have looked up on how long to beat. And it says about 7 or 8 hours. I'm like, yeah, I ain't playing something for 7 or 8 hours in a 24-hour stream. So I'll give myself an hour and a half to get quite far into it.
Okay.
So we'll see. Then 9:30 p.m. on the Saturday, 9:30 p.m. I'm going to be playing Jackbox. Now I can't play this by myself, and it would be pretty boring if it's just me and you as well. So anybody who wants to come along, feel free. 9:30 p.m. It will be. There are links on our Facebook page, and if you don't want to go to there, it is twitch.tv/Focus on Gaming Podcast, or one word. So I'll be doing Jackbox. Then we're going to be hopefully with Martin, if he can join us, play a bit of Rocket League at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Then I've left myself a bit of overtime. Then I'm going to be playing Humanity. I'm going to be, as I said earlier, playing some community levels. And because I'm going to be all alone in my house, my wife is taking my son away for the night so I can have some peace and quiet. Isn't that nice of her? I'm going to be playing horror games because we all know how well I do with horror games. And I asked for some suggestions, and somebody came up with one. It's called The Mortuary Assistant. Now, oh God, it's basically, it starts off and you are in a mortuary, obviously the spotlight, so it's dark everywhere else, and you are looking at dead bodies to assess them, and you're a mortuary assistant, so doing what mortuary assistant, and then demon stuff and things in the shadows and all sorts of things come up in the trailer. And I really don't want to play it, but the person who suggested it, I was like, yeah, that's a really good suggestion. You've suggested something that's perfect for what I need. So I hate you.
And I promise not to show up at your house and scare you.
I'll be locking the. Trust me, the door over here, it will be locked tight, locked to within an inch of its life. I do have a dog, so all I've got to do is go out at about 9 o'clock and make sure it's gone for a wee and a poo. And then
say your dog's like practically blind or something. Isn't it?
She's pretty much deaf now. We think she's 14. Oh God, no, she's not a guard dog. I don't mean the dog's going to bite you or anything. But no, that's the only time I'm going to be leaving here is to go sort the dog out and to go for a wee. And I think while I'm playing the horror games, I may just have a bottle down here that I'm just like, so. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to that bit. But hey, it might help me get over my wussiness. But yeah, then I'm going to be playing some retro games on Saturday morning, and then what I might do after that is just finish off some of the games. If I've cut some games off to play other ones, I may play a bit till I finish. At midday, and it's all in aid of cancer research, so please go to the Facebook page, and there will be a QR code on the stream for people to donate and a link to click, I think, or type. Yeah, and when I'm 46 and really unhealthy nowadays, staying up for 24 hours is hell. So please support me, and yeah, and we'll hopefully raise some money.
Can I just add, mortuary assistant looks terrifying.
Oh god! Literally, the guy was like, the guy said, "Oh yeah, just." I've read reviews of it. I've looked at trailers of it, and just everywhere people say this is one of the most terrifying games they've ever played.
What systems is it on?
It's on PC at least, because that's what I'll be playing it on. Mortuary Assistant game. So it's on Steam. I do believe that is about it.
The link on their website doesn't work.
The Mortuary Assistant horror game 2022. Apparently it's on Nintendo Switch.
Amazing.
Of all platforms that I thought it would be on, that was not one of them.
Well, can I link my VR up to play Steam games? Is that possible?
You can if you've got a PC.
Well, in that case, then I'm going to have to play this on my laptop, if it will manage it, with my VR. Because I love it.
You probably want to test out with a free thing first.
Yeah.
Just get some freebies off Steam VR and plug your Quest 3 in. See what it does. Because I think your laptop's not really meant for gaming. And if you think about it, with VR, it's not going to render it once, which yours isn't designed to do. It's got to render it twice, so that you can have a different view from each eye. So that's why even if some people complain when they first get VR headsets and they go, "Oh, well, this game runs fine on my PC, and now on this it won't run fine." It's like, yeah, because yours just about gets the minimum requirements, and now you've got to have minimum requirements to do it twice. That's simplifying a bit, but it has got to render it differently. So
I think you can remote play it from the Quest 3, if I remember rightly.
Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know how it works in terms of the Quest 3, whether it uses the processing power of the Quest 3, because it might have a version available. So it's, I mean,
all less fails. I'll nick this on Steam Deck.
Yeah, I mean, short and little rough says atmosphere makes up for these shortcomings. Shared in a list of top horror games. Puzzles can be confusing. Oh God. Delivers a fun set of scares. Why are scares fun? They're not fun. But anyway, I shall be doing that at 3 a.m.
Amazing.
By myself.
Make sure you do it at 3:33. That's the witching hour, apparently.
Oh, okay. Then no. Yeah. I've got a few other horror games lined up as well, because I'll be playing horror games for a couple of hours. I've got Resident Evil 7 lined up, but I think me playing that first bit again means I won't be scared because I've done it like 8 times.
Yeah.
So that'll be at 3 a.m.
Cool. Well, I am talking of mortuaries and things like that. And some of you may know that I'm a bit of a horror fan and ghost fan and that. So we visited somewhere called Newsham Asylum back in the day, and climbed into the bit where they used to burn the bodies. So in this derelict asylum. So yeah,
gross.
I'm always up for that kind of thing.
No, back in the day I was, but no, I'm not now. I want bright lights, a comfy sofa, and yeah, that's it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, "Do you know what would be perfect right now? Comfy sofa and peace and quiet simulator, 2024."
I love it.
That's what all I want. But anyway, on that note, please join me, even if it's for 1 minute or 24 hours, whatever, and donate if you can. And yeah,
and we will be there.
We will see you for episode 51.
We will.
And thank you for listening. And here's to another 50 and more.
Please subscribe. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.